Subtle skills, big results.
Welcome to the Ninja Selling Podcast. Good morning and welcome back to the Ninja Selling Podcast. Matt and Garrett are with you this morning. And it's funny, Matt, we haven't had a chance to talk about this topic in a very long time. I feel that it's always been there, but it really hasn't been something that has needed an extreme amount of attention. And now that we're watching whatever you want to call this marketplace kind of change that's going on right now, it is coming out loud and clear from the people that I'm coaching and the people that I'm working with daily, that they're all of a sudden saying, wow, like I've got properties that are sitting on the market a little bit longer. I've got homes that should have sold that aren't selling. I've got homes that should have been selling, but I'm not even getting any showings on it. At the same time, most marketplaces are telling me they have a record amount of volume going through. So it's not that the homes aren't selling. It could be a little bit different in your marketplace. I get it. But the reason the homes aren't selling is not necessarily based on a lack of buyers. It's not based on a lack of movement in the marketplace. It comes down to sensitivity and pricing. And we could talk about that today, Matt. So Matt, good morning. How are you, sir?
Good morning, Garrett. I'm great, man. How are you?
I'm good. I'm having a good day.
Good. Yeah, I'm excited to talk about this. We've danced around it a little bit with some of the other podcasts. I mean, we've mentioned price. We've mentioned pricing homes properly. I think we even brought up bridge pricing at one point, but it was all in relation to wider topics. So to dive specifically in on just pricing, I think is going to be interesting because I've also felt that the necessity of pricing properties properly had to slow down on that one because that's a tongue twister.
That's a big sentence.
Has never gone away, in my opinion. And sometimes I feel like I'm taking crazy pills when people are like, oh my goodness, I have to actually pay attention to how I price my listings. I'm like, wait, excuse me. Can you say that again? What do you mean you haven't been?
We watched it, Matt, and this last marketplace, as crazy as it could possibly be, it always surprised me that there was somebody that goes, I think something's happening in the marketplace right now. I'm like, why? And like, well, because my listing's not getting any showings and it's not getting any offers. And I'm like, well, no, as crazy as this marketplace is, the price sensitivity is still there. It's been there, hasn't stopped.
And when you brought this up, I've been thinking about a good analogy. And since we love cars and travel, I was thinking about a highway, right? Because the quote freak out, oh my goodness, homes aren't selling. It's like they are. It's another couple of days, give buyers a chance to breathe a little bit. Doesn't mean that we're going the other direction. So if you have a highway, all the cars are traveling one direction. The past couple of years, we've been going at like 120 miles an hour. So if you're going 100, like, whoa, this is fast. But then you got people zipping by at 120. You're like, wow, they're going really fast. And now maybe we're just going 80, which is still fast. But people are like, oh my goodness, everything's changing. It's like, but we're still going in the same direction, right? We haven't gotten off the exit ramp and spun around and started to go the other direction at 80 miles an hour, or even 20 or 10 or 5 or 2 or 1. We're still going this way. Now, no crystal ball. That could change at some point. But so this is where, okay, if we're pricing something based on the speed of 120 miles an hour and everybody's going 80, they don't see it. Like, oh, there's something out there, right? It's gone. We need to bring that speed back to where everybody's at, where we're all moving together. And I think, Gary, you had said this before we hit record. A lot of people are starting to price based on where they think the home would sell, which is kind of how we are taught to price, right? We want to price a home based on what we feel fair market value is so that, we're not getting into these crazy gaps. But, that's been a little different over the past couple of years.
Well, if you think about it, and Matt, I love your analogy, and I'm going to continue to run with you here for a second. Let's just say we're flying down the freeway at a breakneck speed of 5 miles an hour, okay? All of us together. We're all flying down the freeway, 5 miles an hour, crazy fast. And you're pricing property like we're going 100, which means that we're throwing a price down the road, saying, okay, by the time we bring this home to market, we're going to be matching it at where we are to the price that home is. The problem is that we're throwing it, as you said, so far down the road to come up and match with it when it goes live.
It's going to take us a little bit to travel down that path.
And hopefully we get there. And when you're traveling at, let's say, 125 miles an hour, you can lob one out there ahead of where market value is. And by the time you get to there to the actual going on the market, boom, you're matched with it and you're going off and you're riding off into the sunset. When things are running a little bit slower, let's say 80 miles an hour, I'm going to continue with 5. You need to be more careful about when you're bringing a home to market, because you can very easily all of a sudden lob it too far out there. And then all of a sudden you're going, wait, what's going on? Like, we're not getting anything. This is not happening. What's going on here? And it just means you've just lobbed it out there beyond where the pace of this market is moving at right now. We're starting to see it happen all the time. My coaching calls are all following kind of a similar pattern. And it's not necessarily them that are experiencing it. They're talking about the marketplace. I actually find a lot of people that we coach, Matt, are using the right tools. They never stopped using the right tools. Their homes are going on the market and selling very, very, very fast. Again, this marketplace is still very open to that. But the amount of them that are saying, we're starting to see homes start to sit. We're starting to see my buyers have an opportunity where all of a sudden a home's been on the market for a week. We can actually swoop in and make an offer. And they know it's overpriced and they can make a little bit of a lower offer. And these people are now freaking out because in their mind, they thought they're going to go on. They're going to move very quickly. Now they got 7 days under their belt with no activity. And all of a sudden said buyer comes in and goes, I'll save you. And they go, oh, thank God. Obviously something shifted here. Let's just move. We're starting to see that as trends start to come about. It's getting sensitive.
It is getting sensitive. And this is where, if you haven't been using your tools, your charts, right? Not just your comps. Let's use the charts. Focus First is a great tool. I've used it for many, many years. I love it. I think it's great. There's other tools out there too, if you're looking for a different program, but using things like a scattergram, using things like buying patterns and positioning, right? We haven't had to position property really delicately for the past couple of years because the market's moving so fast. Whenever you come on market, we're first in line. And I think this is why we're seeing a lot of issues around price sensitivity, because people aren't paying attention to their position on the market. They're coming on the market and being like, oh man, why didn't we get those showings and those offers? Because we positioned ourselves in 5th place this weekend. By next weekend, we might be in first. And so that's why you just give it some time. But we have to let those other properties that are in front of us. And this is where using a old school tool like price lines, which I believe Focus First still has built into it, can help. Hey, let's see how we are in position based on price, condition, and all the other things. But it's mostly going to come down to price against what's on the market, what other buyers are looking at, and say, hey, how do we get first in line?
Here's the scary thing, though. In a marketplace where things maybe aren't appreciating as fast as they were, things are slowing down. You might, if you just wait it out, let's say we're in 5th position, 1, 2, 3, and 4 move away from you. And now it's like, oh, now we are in maybe 1st position or 2nd position. The problem is now you have days on market that you've accumulated, which is a strike against you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you don't want that. Also, more properties can hit the market and be in front of you.
I was going to say, other homes will cut in line. They'll cut in line right in front of you. And so it's all of a sudden, are we just by waiting it out going to be in 1st position? And usually what I have watched is the answer is no. Like, you need to make some adjustments. And this is, again, in this marketplace we're going into right now, we need to be thinking along those lines. We need to start taking in some of, as you said, these tools and these systems that we've really have let go over the last handful of years, because it's not been as imperative. It's not been as critical to be that accurate. You could fly by the seat of your pants a little bit and be like, man, we'll be okay.
And I think when you look at the numbers too, because people are like, oh my goodness, days on market is doubling, it's tripling. It's like these percentages that we talk about. Yeah, when you go from an average of 2 days on the market to 6 days on the market, you've added a significant percentage-wise days on market. But if you think about what you do with 6 days of your own time, is it really that much time? I don't want to make light of it, but if you're paying attention to position, you can avoid those things. You can be the home that sells this weekend. You can be the home that gets the showings. And you can also look at the buyer activity, converse with your other fellow listing agents to ask them what's going on ahead of it. Hey, you saw, these homes that went under contract on Tuesday and Wednesday instead of Monday, and they went on last week. Call those agents. Hey, what were showings like? What were offers like? I think, Garrett, you mentioned that on a podcast we did recently. communicate with these people to understand the sensitivity of the market in terms of pricing, which leads to your positioning, because the final sold price doesn't really have much to do, as much as we all think we're really awesome at pricing, what you pick out and slap as the list price. I mean, it can, but list price is your position. So be aware of the sensitivity, gather information, use the tools. I think that's the name of the game. It always has been too.
But so here's what's interesting. So Matt, I was running numbers with an agent that I coached out in Southern California here just yesterday. And was it Southern California? I lied to everybody. Don't let me lie to you again like that. It was Dallas, Texas.
Your admission was very quick, and so we appreciate it, and apologies accepted.
I apologize. That's what happens when you talk to like 40 people a week. It's like, hey, it just all blends together at some point in time. So it's interesting. So we were comparing numbers. She wanted help with doing absorption rates is what we wanted to do. She said, I'm having a hard time understanding absorption rates and months of inventory and what does this all mean? And it was really interesting because looking at the numbers, and we're comparing March to May. Okay, so we got about a 2-month time frame here of pulling different data. Back in March, the actives they had in this marketplace, and we're talking about like a neighborhood specifically, they had 2 actives in this marketplace. In the past 6 months, they had 12 homes sell. Okay, so 12 homes sell, and they basically are running at about 2 actives right now, selling at a rate of about 2 homes per month. So currently right now, selling at a rate of 2 homes per month, 1 month of inventory available. So absorption rate is at 2 homes per month, 1 month of inventory. Here's what's really interesting. Pulling the numbers right now there's currently 9 actives on the market. And it's very easy to look at that and go, oh my gosh, like marketplace is slowing down. We got 9 homes available on the market. If you look at the months of inventory, there's 2.16 months of inventory currently right now, up from 1 month. Now it's at 2.16. So you could look at that and be like, wow, okay, So
it started selling faster then too, or more per month started selling.
4.16. It's absorbing. It was absorbing 2 homes off the market. Now it's absorbing 4.16 per month.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
25 homes sold in the last 6 months, doing the data as of right now, 4.16 selling per month. This is the stuff that you need to start paying attention to. And you can very easily go, oh, the marketplace is slowing. Oh, this or that. No, it's actually speeding up 4.16 compared to 2 in a very short amount of time frame.
Even though months of inventory grew, right? It's like, whoa, man, months of inventory, it's growing. It's like, but we're selling. I mean, yeah, that's interesting.
We're selling more homes. So this is what we need to start paying attention to. When you look at pricing, it's very easy to get kind of caught up in what's really going on. If we're selling at a rate of 4.16, which is double what it was 2 months ago, this tells me that if you're sitting on the market, you're missing the mark. The marketplace is there. Things are selling, but we're missing it. And this is where you need to make adjustments quickly. You need to understand the price sensitivity. You can't sit back and just wait it out. And you need to be right when you hit the marketplace up front. But if you're not making movement, you need to look at yourself. Don't look at the marketplace.
Yeah. What you just explained, which that was awesome, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Matt. Hopefully everybody's able to follow. It seems great because I have a piece of paper in front of me and I have all my notes.
Well, when you said like 9 homes on the market, I'm like, oh man, okay. So if they're selling it at the 2 a month, like that's going to increase a lot. But then you're like, oh, but the months of inventory is only this. Like, whoa, there's more homes selling. And I think it highlights the fact that there's always a level of demand that we just never, ever see, right? And so running all the numbers together to understand how they work harmoniously and then position yourself, your listings at the front of the line to take advantage of that, because you're looking at, oh, if we're selling at 2 homes a month in that neighborhood, you got to be in the top 2 to sell in that month. Whereas now you just got to be in the top 4. I still recommend being as high up in line as you can, but there's probably a lot of similar homes as well. So hard to really figure out, are we 1? Are we 2? But if you're always striving to be first, which takes into a lot more than price too, be honest with yourself when you're running your comparable properties as well. I've seen homes in our neighborhood, lots more homes coming on the market. It's about that time for the new neighborhood kind of turnover. It's been that many years. And I'm seeing some people like, wow, that price doesn't seem high compared to that one. I was like, yeah, but look at what that house is compared to that one. Look at the features, the lot location, the upgrades, all these things. And then you look at, well, these people are listing at 2.5 times what they paid for it 2 years ago, whereas that one was just 2 times what they paid for it. Crazy. And it's like, yeah, this person's shooting really, really high and they're going to get hung out to dry. And they did. They reduced price. And now they're one of the only ones remaining. They'll probably go under contract this week and all will be right in the world. Positioning matters because the prices are sensitive.
So when it comes to positioning, this is a very real situation, these numbers that I shared, March to currently right now. If you had a client that said, okay, we're thinking about putting our home on the market. Let's say that was 2 months ago that they were having that conversation with you, and now we're getting ready to put it on the market. What if you pulled these numbers? What if you found out the absorption rate? What if you found out the months of inventory back when we were having that initial conversation with them and you shared it with them? You said, here's where we currently stand in the marketplace. This is what we're watching going on. This is just real numbers in real time. And then we save those numbers. And when we're getting ready to go live, we say, okay, here's the difference of the game that we're playing right now. And you share, this is how much more inventory we have. 2 back then, we have 9 now. But here's the interesting, sold in 6 months, we had 12. Now we have 25 data to be able to work with here. Sales are going way up. If you can sit down and show them these numbers and talk to them about it, you could be much more accurate on where you're going to be putting this home on the market. You have much more, I would say, flexibility, creativity. You're much more knowledgeable. Like I look at this and say, if my realtor would sit down with me and share this information with me, I'd be like, they've got this market figured out on a different level than I would ever be paying attention to. And you need to do your numbers, your homework. You need to check in on this stuff because I don't know, when I heard this, I got very, very, very excited. The market is not black and white.
I like numbers, as many people probably remember from other podcasts when we used to talk more analytics. I really enjoy getting into the data and understanding it. And there's a reason for that, because people who understand the data are able to help guide their clients to position and price properly so that when there are these sensitivities, because even with those increased sales, Garrett, you also have the dynamics of that kind of marketplace. So now we have more demand being realized, but also more options on the market, which probably means that buyers are starting to spread out a little bit into that neighborhood and choosing which homes they're going to see first, which ones they're going to see second. And so there could also be other dynamics and expectations, going back to our episode on setting seller expectations, that should be set with those sellers to say, hey, we're selling a lot more homes than we were before. However, because of this, we might, expect an extra day or two to kind of have a similar amount of showings that we were compacting into a day before, because the demand is now a bit spread out, which is okay.
I think it's important to understand for a lot of people too, the situation that we're describing right now, these, uptick in inventory, the rate of sales happening, the inventory going up a little bit, it's actually really healthy. What we're describing here and what we're going into right now, if you've been had a real estate license or been in the mortgage industry for like the last, let's say 3 years, let's say you started within the last 3 years, you haven't even seen what I would refer to as a healthy market. Like we are entering into a way more healthy marketplace. Are we balanced yet? I hate to say it. In this example that I just shared with you, 2.16 months of inventory technically is not a balanced marketplace.
No.
Is it moving towards a balanced marketplace? Yeah, but it's not balanced yet. It's still a strong seller's market. We haven't seen a healthy marketplace in so long, Matt.
And this just leads to using these processes, running numbers like that all the time will help you stay ahead of the game in any market. I have a lot of fun. My dad always sends me headlines on the major news network, headlines on housing and stuff like that. And the past week has been all these headlines that make it seem like if you're a consumer or even an agent, you're just confused because there's, listings suddenly jump as sellers worry they'll miss out on the market. New home sales plunge nearly 17% in April. Home prices surged at record pace in March, despite higher mortgage rates. Home sale prices surge. And then you have certain CEOs of certain brokerages going on CNBC and saying sellers are freaking out, which, come on, dude, I'm sorry. That was not wise, in my opinion. When it's like, let's just look at the data. And why are people freaking out? Because they're confused. And this is where you as an agent get to come in and create clarity. And you get to create clarity with understanding the data so that you can help sellers price properly so they're positioned well to go under contract at something that makes them happy.
This is where the professionals shine, Matt. As we move into the marketplace that we're going into right now, whatever this looks like, even if it goes into, and I've watched Ninja work in extreme buyer's markets, like if we were to shift all the way over to that side, this direction we're heading into right now is where the professionals shine, the people that can give the information so people can make the smart decisions so they can be successful getting from point A to point B. We're going to start to watch a lot of people that are not successful as inventory starts to grow, as we have more people accumulate days on market. Those of you that are super excited about expired listings, you're probably going to get to work with them again coming up here. Not really our neck of the woods, not really what we like to focus on. But if you love them, there's a chance that they might be coming back around. You get a chance to work with some of them. Maybe.
I mean, I guess if people have 2-month agreements, 1-month agreements, maybe.
And again, I'm not saying that you will produce less yourself. I mean, I'm saying you will. Hopefully your listings are not going to be expired. Hopefully you're giving the right information up front. You're educating them so they're moving along and selling. I was just saying, if you like accumulating them, there's other agents out there that will not be providing the right information. They will not be helping their people. And this part of our marketplace is going to show back up again.
Yeah, hands down. We saw it happen. I think I mentioned it happened in our neighborhood, right? Property went on the market with brand A, too high priced. A few days, went through one weekend, nothing, price reduction. Brand A fired. Brand B comes in, priced appropriately, still a really nice number, and sells with brand B. That first weekend they're with brand B. So wasn't a chance necessarily it expired, but certainly in making good of a situation where an agent maybe wasn't, and I don't know the whole story.
Could have easily been an expired though. That one could have been ridden out all the way to the very end and would have shown up as an expired. They would have been like, oh man, like my agent didn't do this and whatnot. And then you have, knight in shining armor come riding in and be like, let's just price it a little bit lower. Bing. Oh, is the price? Amazing.
Oh man. So, yep, there it is, Garrett. Well, hey, this was a good topic. So hopefully you guys are sharpening your pencils a little bit right now and doing that work and enjoy it. I think if you know that stuff, I mean, this is good knowledge for you to have. It puts you in the top echelon of your realtor colleagues for sure. And people get really interested when you start, Garrett, the numbers that you shared. People will listen. They'll be like, oh, interesting.
Well, and interesting is these numbers are at everybody's fingertips. Everything that I just pulled out here was in a 30-second conversation with a real estate agent that had her MLS open. You just need to know actives and solds for the past 6 months. You know those two numbers, you can do the data that I just shared with you.
Yeah. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. That's how that saying goes, right? Yeah.
That's how you say it.
Everyone, I appreciate you. We appreciate you. Thank you for joining us. Garrett, thanks for bringing this awesome topic. This was a fun one to explore. Guys, if you have not dove into our Facebook community, we're well over 8,000 now, over 8,200 people in there. Go to facebook.com/group/The Ninja Selling Podcast. We are starting to uptick the amount of just amazingness that's going on in there. I mean, the community's providing incredible value with ourselves. We did a happy hour. We enjoyed it. We're going to do more of those. And we're going to start doing more stuff in there too, to just continue to bring the value to all of you, because we know that you're looking for the edge that's going to help you really increase your income per hour so that you can live the life that you want to live. That's the whole purpose of Ninja Selling. And we're here to help you do that. So if you want to learn more about Ninja Selling or Ninja Coaching and how we can help guide you along the path, head over to ninjaselling.com, click the calendar to find when an installation might be available for you to attend, or under Maintain Habits, click on Ninja Coaching and learn more about what we do on a one-on-one basis to help people better their businesses and improve their lifestyle with their business. And we're here to help you in any way that we can. So appreciate all of you. Have an amazing day, and we'll see you on the next one.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks, everyone. If you enjoyed today's episode and would like more, visit us at theninjasellingpodcast.com.
There you will also find links for more information about ninja selling and coaching. Have an incredible day.